What's up, everybody? My name is Tyler Silva. Welcome to another episode of The Rundown with Silva, and today my guest is another good friend of mine. You may know him from playing in bands like Brain Zap. Give it up for my man Kevin, everybody.
Yeah.
What's up, bud?
What's up, dude?
Cheers, dude. Thank you for
Cheers,
fucking
homie.
finally making it.
I know, dude. We had another one planned, right?
Yeah, we did. I'm the more that it sounds shitty, but like when I put someone off as special as you, I'm glad I've done it because now I know how things work a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, because we've had some technical run-ins and shit like that,
Sure.
so it's nice to just be a little bit more dialed in and more comfortable just with you here now than maybe who knows how many episodes ago, you know?
Yeah.
So it is nice to have you here now, dude. Thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
dude. Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here.
It's good to see you, man. What you been up to, dude? It's fucking...
Man. Dude, I'm gonna be 100% honest, dude. I've been dealing with the anxiety of coming out of quarantine.
Yeah?
You know, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm usually a very social person, but for some reason, like getting back into the scene and stuff like that, for some reason, is kind of.
I think it's gonna take time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not that you hate anybody. It's just it's
No.
fucking scary.
Yeah, you know, just literally being at home for more than a year already, you know, not playing shows, not really socializing with people. After a while, you just kind of get used to it. And then you're like, man, I want to play in a band that requires socializing, you know, it requires talking to promoters and shit like that. But no, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It'll turn around, you know, I know myself.
Of course, man.
I just got to work on it and be cool with it.
It's tough to get there. I know it's been tough for a few people, you know, that's for sure. And there's nothing wrong with that because you care about everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like you have this view that well, if you go out, you don't care about anybody, because that's not true.
No.
You're going there to support people.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it's tough, man. When everyone's ready, they will be there. And whatever steps it takes, I just hope everyone gets there. You know, it's so crazy to have to believe these news outlets and all these things. It's so confusing. So I don't blame anyone for fucking staying home right now.
Yeah, times are crazy, man. Yeah, you can't really flip on the news stations nowadays without kind of losing your mind a little bit.
You were staying pretty active. I mean, for what you're telling me, you were staying pretty active for doing really fun Brain Zap TV shit, and that was fun, man. I even got to be part of that.
Yeah, at the beginning of quarantine, I kind of took advantage of that. At the time, I wasn't working. I saved up a bunch of money before I started working at the Grow where you got me at, and I just wasn't working, and that's around the time where I started learning how to screen print, how to DIY shit.
Yeah.
Build pedals. That's something that I more recently got into. But, stuff like that. Stuff that requires me to be at home instead of going out to socialize with people.
And still contributing to your craft in one way or another.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. It's tough, though. It's tough to keep going with that. It's, you got to keep motivated, which is kind of tough when you're not really socializing. But it's something that I have my mind set on, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna take some time right now.
Dude, I believe it, man. You're a dedicated person, and you work hard, and you're very good at anything that you put your mind to, for sure. You're an extremely talented individual, which is one, why I'm happy to know you, but two, because you're also a fucking cool dude. For sure.
I appreciate it, man.
And you always have been since I've met you. You know, we've been friends for a couple of years now, at least.
Yeah. 2017, I'm pretty sure is when I met you.
Damn, that's fucking actually pretty wild to think about now.
4 years ago, dude.
That's wild, dude.
I know. I feel like I just fucking met you, dude.
It's been a pleasure, too. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I think it's really cool to have friends that whenever you go hang out with them, that's it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's weird, right? Because every friend you hang out with different, but you have a group of them that when you go and hang out with these people, it's almost dedication and I'm dialed into you.
Yeah.
I'm mentally in love with you. I might kiss you. Anything can fucking happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, dude. I mean, we've definitely worked a lot together with, with that kind of dynamic with your your Rundown Roommates, was it an album or an EP?
EP, yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
the EP.
You know, a lot of people. I mean, I try to make this as well known as possible, but you know, you recorded our Rundown Roommates Just Moved In EP, which was
Yeah.
featuring so many fucking people.
Yeah.
and we were just. It was great because you were living across the street from Yucca Tap Room.
Yeah.
like recording our EP. Oops, and we were. You know, we have so many features on that EP.
Yeah.
There's like 13 different features from like 8 different bands or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were just, you know, like we would go see a show, play a show, whether it be you or me, across the fucking street, go home, party, crash. Next day, like,
Yep.
let's record some fucking songs.
Yep.
Like, we got these people coming in.
Yep.
Like, it was just this crazy cycle for weekends on weekends on weekends
Yeah.
on weekends on end. And, like, I could not believe I'm alive. Like,
Dude. Oh, dude. So many blackouts, dude. There's so many things that I know we did, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
At Yucca.
dude,
Those were the days, man. Those were the days.
it's crazy.
You
That was
know.
only a couple of years ago, you know?
Yeah, dude. What, like, I think we started in 2017. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think we started in like 2017 and we ended late 2018. Does that sound about right?
Are you not doing Brains App anymore?
No, I am. Yeah. There's just a few things we got to work out, like in our own personal lives.
Well, you got to get the gears rolling again. The world
Yeah.
has become 2 different places since it was last year.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. As soon as you know my bandmates are ready. You know, I've been keeping in contact with them. We really haven't been doing much, but I understand that there are things that they got to work through before they consider playing shows. You know, they got kids and shit. They got families and you know, they got a real life outside of Brains App. But yeah, no, I'm right now we're not doing anything as Brains App, but we're definitely, you know, we have our mindset on eventually starting to do that again. That's one of my babies, really.
Has it been hard to be creative lately for you?
Oh yeah, dude.
I am, like, struggling.
Man, I don't know what it is, dude. I remember like going back to those mill days, you know, like waking up hungover and being like, all right, I'm ready to record.
Weird, right?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Weird how, like, when you feel so shitty, because I drank a little bit last night, and this morning, I'll show you later, but me and Austin are working on a little project, and I'll definitely show you. It's
All right.
pretty interesting,
Hell yeah.
for
Hell
sure.
yeah.
But it's crazy that, like, I don't know if I'm like a functioning alcoholic, but like when I wake up in the morning after a few drinks, like I feel like I need to get to work.
Oh yeah.
And especially since you know how early I work. You know, like I'm there.
Yeah,
you know how
dude.
early I'm there.
Yeah.
So like on my days off, like I'm still waking up kind of early.
Yeah,
And
dude.
even after drinking, you know, so I get the gears just turning.
Just curious, what time do you normally get up on your days off? Like whenever, you know, with no alarm, just get up. Because I know how early you work,
Yeah,
and I'm curious as to how that contributes to your days off.
it's crazy, right? So I have to. For anyone that doesn't know, I need to be at work at 4 a.m. Right? So I usually wake up at about 3. I can hop a quick shower, get dressed, just head out the fucking door. I'm not
that,
too
dude.
far from here.
Yeah.
So like it's only like a 15-minute drive, so I can be there at 4 a.m. no problem and still
Yeah.
stop for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But like on my days off, right? So you think about it, like if I wake up at 7 a.m., that's 4 hours of sleeping in.
Yeah.
You know, 8 o'clock is 5. 8 o'clock is 5 hours of sleeping in for me.
That's nuts. So you can get what, like 13 hours of sleep and still wake up early
If I
as
wanted
fuck?
to, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if I wanted to, I don't sleep. Like I'll probably like on a good day off, you know, maybe I have a few drinks when I come home and then try to watch a movie and pass out or something weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still get like anywhere from 7 to 9, right?
Man.
Like 7 to 9, and like 9, like pushing it, you know, like I
Yeah.
must have fucking got really drunk and just want to lay there for a little bit, you know.
Damn, dude.
But like even then, like that's like 7, 8 o'clock. So like I get up, I get fucking dressed.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do, especially if the cards call for it, is just like, let me just get in the car and go grab some breakfast or something.
Yeah.
You know, my girl will still be passed out. Her sleep schedule is a little different. But like, I'll go just kind of do something, get the blood flowing, get some caffeine, get something to eat, come back, and then I'll just go sit in my office, and whatever that, like, I have to communicate with Austin, you know, like who's going to be our guest for the podcast, like projects that we're thinking about, maybe talk to Elliot from Rundown Roommates about like things I'm doing with them, communicate with Gio and shit. I kind of just like wake up and get like my day started, but like at my own pace, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I wake up for work, even earlier than that, maybe not as rested, like I know what I have to do. I just gotta go do it. But it's almost like I start my life at my own pace, but like I keep working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what a day off like is to me, and I'm still pretty tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like you saw me just wrap up a podcast right now.
Yeah.
You walked into one.
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool, man. That was cool.
Yeah, just keeping it going. But that's me. Like, what about you? I mean,
On my days off, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I wish that I could tell you a story like that where I wake up and be productive, man. But like I said earlier, dude, like it's just been really hard to be creative.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I left out creativity in that whole conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you that.
No, yeah.
Everything I like when I say I wake up on my weekends and like get to work, it's planning things.
Yeah.
It's not even like writing cool shit down in a notebook or expressing my thoughts right now.
Yeah, or playing guitar or writing or anything.
My guitar
like that.
game is so weak right now.
Oh,
the only thing
dude.
keeping my guitar game going right now is my kendama. You see me play kendama every day.
Yeah.
Hand eyes there so I can get away with shows, but dude, creativity is off.
No, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the thing with me is well, one of the things that drives me is my creativity. I have to feel creative before I start to be productive, you know?
Right.
And that just hasn't been happening. I'm gonna be 100% completely honest. You know, like maybe like once or twice a week, I kind of force myself to go up to my little recording studio that I have upstairs, and I just, you know, fuck around, write down, make up a little drum beat or something, and I don't know. I like to force myself to do shit. And I think that once my creative juices start to come back to me, I think that's going to benefit me. I can kind of go off of what I did during that time and build off of it. So I haven't been completely a lazy piece of shit. Not yet, but yeah, it's just been hard. But, you know, I haven't been completely dormant from the...
It's been, I don't know about you, but it's been hard to write.
Yeah.
I like we did put out a single like this last year. We put it out just on one platform.
Squared?
No, with Rundown. We did the music video for it and everything.
Oh.
Austin did the music video.
The one that you shot at
Cosmic Soup. Yeah. And it was so crazy because I feel like that was everything in my chamber at the time. I'm starting to come out of it much more. You know what I mean? But we write about what we know, and that whole song was about the pandemic and all the effects of it. So it's like, well, what else do we fucking know now? Because the pandemic is still a thing.
Yeah.
And it was tough, and that big reason I started this. Big reason I started this. I needed to talk to people like you again.
Oh, you started doing this after that music video. Right?
Maybe a little, yeah, like right after. Austin pushed me to start.
Yeah.
I was investing in equipment to start it, but Austin really pushed me to start. He's like,
nice.
You got to do it. He's like, just pull the trigger.
Nice.
And,
He's a keeper, dude.
Oh, dude, he's the only one.
You don't find friends like that too often where they push you to...
He's the only one keeping this thing together, for sure. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's crazy because I realized how much I needed these parking lot conversations.
Yeah.
This is how we talk before we go into the venue.
Yeah.
While our gear is still in the back of our cars,
Yeah.
and we're smoking a joint, and we're, you know, like down in some fucking roadside beards or, you know, whatever it is. But like, I miss these conversations, and I was really afraid of like shows not really coming back.
Yeah. That was definitely a real fear. I mean, I knew shit was gonna go back to normal. And I still think it is, in my opinion. It's going to go back to normal, but it's taken its sweet ass fucking time.
Do you think it's gonna take its sweet ass time, like in different areas, like because it seems like it's not happening all at once, right? Like Arizona is like open. Vegas just had a sold out UFC fight with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And then like LA is reinstating their mask mandate.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
weird,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like weird.
Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously, as far as I understand and as far as I can perceive, there's just a lot of politics involved in this.
That's what's really weird about it.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who are too afraid to damage their rep,
Absolutely.
But I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of speculate from the background.
That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not here to make a point of anything that anyone should do or shouldn't do because guess what? I'm not a fucking doctor. And I have a certain amount of freedom to do what I do, but I respect the fuck out of people. Like if the place says wear a mask on your way in, that's fine, dude. I don't care at all. If it says I don't have to, well, there's one in my pocket if someone feels uncomfortable around me. Like, it's so crazy because I think sometimes, especially now, there's so many different things to believe, right? So everyone
there's a lot of theories coming out.
And we're a free country, so we can develop our own opinions and like politics put one thing into play or whatever. But I think what it comes down to is just how much do you respect your neighbor? Like, excuse me, could you put a mask on? Like, yeah, you're older than me.
Yeah.
Like, I got one right here in my pocket. Like, I got you. Don't worry about it. I understand.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. I'm not going to be like, well, the government says, like, blah. Like, I don't give a fuck, Like, you don't know who to trust anymore.
Yeah.
And
it's just about... I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely have my opinions on this,
I'm sure.
But I'm not, I'm not going to force anything on anybody. I'm going to do what I personally believe I have to do. Because
it's your freedom.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny to see the tables kind of turn as far as I see. Where people would like post videos of people without their masks in shopping malls and like try to shame them or whatever, and like
or those like protests through Targets, like the no mask fucking protest.
Yeah.
What a weird fucking. Not everyone in the country is smart.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
I feel like a lot of this new propaganda, I don't know, man. Like this new propaganda, I consider it new propaganda because social media is so new to us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like this, like we had newspapers forever.
Yeah,
right. We had newspapers, and everything seemed to be kind of at bay for a minute. You would get big opinions on things. But now we have this new one that can be updated within 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It can be available to you in 2 seconds. It doesn't have to go to the paper boy. It doesn't have to be pressed.
Yep.
It doesn't have to do any of that shit. And so it's so easy to do anything to anybody anytime. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And people get to regulate what can go on there and not.
Yeah.
Like, of course everyone's freaking out right now.
Yeah. Totally. That definitely plays a role in our fear right now, whether you're afraid of getting sick or whether you're afraid of the government controlling you, whatever side you're on. It's somewhere in between, whatever. There's a lot of anxiety right now with
Yes.
I think anybody really, as far as I can tell.
And I think a lot of people are really susceptible to conspiracy theories at any level.
Dude.
A lot of them.
It's crazy how common it is, those types of conspiracy theories are slowly getting more momentum in the mainstream media, and it's alarming.
It's weird to be in an era of when we can share so much information so quickly and even be a nobody, right?
Yeah.
And then another thing on top of that is just clickbait.
Yeah. The formulas that are when I say formulas, I mean formulas that are developed by like social media to prioritize what you see and what you don't see in your newsfeed. That is also questionable to me. You know, it definitely has to do with why people believe some of the things that they do. I heard some dude. I'm not gonna say where I saw it, but I heard some dude tell me about a dude that they know on Facebook, that he's Turkish, and he, like, due to the fact that he's Turkish, I'm sure Facebook somehow found out about that. Facebook's formula put Turkish news on his news feed, and he clicked on it and he watched it, and then of course Facebook's formula or algorithm,
yeah.
Formula. I mean algorithm.
I mean, I guess it's the same shit, really.
Yeah.
It's a digital formula.
Yeah.
Algorithm. Right? Yeah. Sounds right. We're doctors. We're doctors. Yeah, go for it.
But like, I guess their algorithm made it so that he gets more Turkish news, right? And then he was saying like, "Oh man, I didn't realize that the United States, you know, took so much interest in Turkish news." But it's like, no, they don't. Like, you don't realize like the formula or the algorithm has been just showing you that, you know, that's not what everyone sees. The algorithm is specifically created for you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, you click on a conspiracy video and you watch the whole thing, and then you click on another one and you watch the whole thing. And you guess what? Tomorrow on your news feed, all you're gonna get is conspiracy videos. You know,
it's weird, man. Like when you say algorithm and conspiracies and you know, like things like that, especially algorithms, right? So somewhere in the ether, is that what you call it? Whatever, ether. Fuck me. But somewhere in the ether of whatever this fucking internet is and what something is, this one piece of code, right?
Yeah.
So this one piece of code is, maybe it's many. I'm an idiot. But it's meant to, like, attach to you and adapt to you. It's a fucking leech.
Yeah.
You know? Like, the algorithm is a leech.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you know, all these companies and us and whatever can make, you know, blah, blah, blah on clicks. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
On clicks.
I mean, think about it. Why has this algorithm
kicked ass?
Yeah.
It's kicked ass for people.
Why? Yeah. Why has this? Why does this algorithm exist the way that it does? Because it's profitable. You know, people make money, and unfortunately, due to that, some people get poisoned in the fucking brain.
Dude, and you know what's also wild too is, like, I'm not even gonna lie, it fucking works for me, but it's because it is shit I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like flash sale on kendamas. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And like, sure enough, it was like a sale, and like I got a dope ass kendama, and like, how could I not give in to that? Like, I mean, it's shit I need. Like, I can't even lie, it's shit I need. Microphones and cables. I'm like, what? Like, it's all working for this. And you know, I mean, I'm glad it's not like crazy political bullshit on my part. I'm so lucky. Like, I'm very lucky in my algorithm, I guess. But how many other people are, you know, like, how many other people's lives are dedicated to being losers, for one, and thinking like a presidential candidate is going to save their lives?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's wild to me. That's part of the plan. as far as I believe, you know, in my opinion, it's I don't know. It's just a series of giving shit to people, you know, if it's profitable, and if it fucks them up, then no one cares, you know. If it fucks up if it skews their opinion, if it skews their view, no one's gonna take that into consideration when creating these algorithms. And it's scary. I don't know. That's how we are where we are, in my opinion.
No, for sure. How hard do you think it is to get legitimate literature lately?
Man, what do you mean by legitimate? Like,
I guess I just don't even know, right? So I think you will always find something, no matter what, right? Like, if you go look up like flat Earth, like legitimate, that's all you have to focus. In fact, Justin, Google that, flat Earth, like legitimate or something like that. What do you think will come up, Justin?
Fucking garbage.
But it's crazy, right? Like all you have to do is Google shit in your favor. And
yeah, totally.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, as far as getting like legit literature, I guess I'm gonna take the liberty and make legit mean what I think it means.
yeah, and you have to say where you get it from. I'm not
yeah,
saying that, but
yeah,
like,
sure.
it's I wonder just like, are there signs that you look for or anything that you look for? Because that's
dude, to be honest, man, I just look for shit that's old. Like
Really?
like yeah, I mean the thing is, and I know this is super cliche and you'll hear both sides of the spectrum say this quote, but you know, history repeats itself, you know.
of course I'm strong believer.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like, what do you do if that's the case? Then you know, for example, right now we were in the middle of a pandemic. When was the last time we were in the middle of the pandemic? You know, in my opinion, it would be during the Spanish flu, during the early 1900s, you know, and then 100 years before that and 100 years before that. So I think it's...
I mean, there was swine flu in 2009.
Swine flu.
Not
That's
perfect. Another good example, I guess. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I mean the thing is, you know, things like swine flu and Ebola and things like that, and it's those are things to remember in my opinion, but they weren't like to where you had to like wear masks. In
Oh no, it
public.
wasn't as drastic.
Yeah. But it, you know, I'm not saying don't.
Yeah, it's not that it didn't kill people. We saw it kill people.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
But yeah, I mean, dude, like one thing that I personally do that I believe that I should do that is in my best interest is to read history books. And yeah, I'll take a small hit.
For sure. I just load a little snapper. I can always load more.
Oh, cool.
So in a little weed break, flat Earth legitimate. You get a bunch of results of people disproving flat Earth and like debating it, and then one video that says flat Earth proven by independent research.
Really?
So that's some guy in his back.
Can you drag over the results? I just want to show like some people the results, if you don't mind. Scroll all the way up to like some of the first ones. Okay, so there's a lot of people that actually fight it. I guess that's chill. That's probably a good idea.
That fight flat Earth.
There's also a lot of articles about like what they believe in and kind of goes into depth of like what people think when they think that the Earth is flat and all that bullshit.
Yeah. There's actually a really interesting documentary on Netflix.
This guy proved it.
He proved that the Earth was flat.
Proven by independent research. He did it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. What did that say? September 12th, 21st of 2018?
22nd of 2018.
22nd of 2018?
That's funny.
Dude, 3 years, the world's been flat and we didn't know.
Yep. That's crazy. The Earth has been flat this whole time. We didn't know.
It's crazy, man. Opinions can get across so quickly and be dangerous.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's the scary part is that it's literally resulting in people's deaths and people getting attacked. You know, for being part of any marginalized group, you know, you're a target.
Do you feel like I mean, I know this is like kind of being shitty about it, but I think it's also like a light at the end of the tunnel. But like with everything that's going on, what do you expect from musicians at this point? I mean, some are coming out and releasing some pretty dope shit, you know? And especially like since we play punk and a lot of shit is fucking political.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? It's a weird demographic, and although you can be like on one side politically on like issues, I feel like there are like now like almost like, right, you're like punk rock or hip hop, right? And now there's like, well, you could be pop punk, or you could be like mumble rap, or you could be like, there's like subgenres of almost culture now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's just a result of time is
Tribalism.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe you could, you know, equate it to that in some situations, but it's just, you know, sound is going to change, you know, punk rock, if you listen to it from the early 80s to today, it's very, very different, but very similar. You know, there's still power chords, you know, there's still fast drums, you know. You know, like
course.
fast shit like that. As far as is I don't know, as far as like musical formulas, they're the same, but the energy is definitely gone through the roof these last few years. But yeah, there's so many subgenres of everything nowadays, and I think that's just a result of us just doing it for so long. I'm curious as to where it's going to be in 20 years. You know, there's things like rock and roll that have stuck around. Unfortunately, it's kind of dying down right now, but there's, you know, it's stuck around for so long. I think it's going to make its comeback. That's my opinion.
What do you mean by that? If you don't mind me asking, like, is there an
Sure.
example that like comes to like mind when you say like rock and roll kind of dying off? Like,
Well, the thing is that rock and roll is definitely not on the charts anymore as far as like popular radio, you know.
kind of right off the coattails of that idea, but like when you say like things are dying off, like, you know, things not being on the radio, you know, radio's kind of dated, right? So what? And we're getting these platforms where we can say more, you know?
Yeah.
I'm on here and can say fucking cunt right now. And
Yeah.
it works out fine. And
Yeah.
it's weird, right? So, like, how relevant is the radio when you can't say, like, you know, fuck in your song or something like that, and you maybe have a song that plays way more on Spotify than maybe most on the... I don't know. It's weird, though, right?
Yeah, that dynamic of the mainstream radio versus like what we choose to listen to, right?
Yes,
on Spotify,
and
things
that's
like
become like a huge. That's a perfect way of putting it, right? Because like we don't decide to listen to the radio anymore. In fact, the only time that I can think about is when I want to listen to radio is when I hear that like on Sundays someone in our scene is going to be on.
Yeah,
like that's when I want to listen. I'm like, how cool is
Yeah.
that? But like, I think, you know, no one gives a fuck about radio. There's a Spotify radio with no ads.
Yeah.
You know, with new shit you've never heard.
Yeah, that's the really cool thing about Spotify and things like Pandora is they can show you new shit that you may have not heard of, but you might like. You know, some of the times
Right.
it's bullshit. You're like, fuck this. What is this? I don't like this band.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down. But like sometimes something really badass will come up and you'll be like, oh shit, who's this band? You know, and you'll want to look them up.
And I've come across a few bands like that now. I feel like.
Yeah, me too. It's really hard for me to get into a new band. Like, I don't know why I've always been like this, but my threshold for selling me to a new genre or a new band or whatever is pretty high. Like, you know, but that has been happening to me recently where I'll find something cool on Spotify I've never heard of and I'll really like it.
Do you think it's like it? Do you think it's more to you than that now, or like so when we had first gotten like a CD, right? Like we just knew the band as what was
Yeah.
on like the CD.
I miss those days.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
like Tim Armstrong is awesome because it's right here on the CD.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Anybody you put, and now you know so much more about their personal life. Like
because like Tim Armstrong like is on social media and shit like that.
exactly. You know, like that. I guess that's what I go. But everyone is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy because I'll be like scrolling shit, and like I'll just like ask like, wait a minute, like, I'm wearing is Vans on Instagram? Like, you know, like anything you think of.
Yeah, any companies or whatever, a guy that you used to like on that you saw on TV, not like in high school or
Of course,
whatever, you
yeah.
know? Or a musician that you used to
Yeah.
like.
What guys did you like in high school?
Dude, I was really into Green Day, dude, when I was in high
Just kidding.
school. Junior
Yeah.
high.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I was a big Blink-182 Green Day head forever.
Yeah. I guess that's more toward my early junior high years. Before I really got into like more underground punk rock shit.
My first show was Pennywise and Social Distortion in 5th grade, and that was like where my life changed. For sure.
Dude, so I don't know if this would count as my first show, but the first like real concert I ever went to is when I saw Green Day at the American Idiot Tour. And
That was your first show?
That was that was the first like
Really?
concert I've ever seen. Yeah.
Wow.
But does that count as a show though? It was a huge stadium.
Dude, of course.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Because when I first saw Pennywise open up for Social Distortion, we were actually up the street here at this. There's a baseball stadium over here. Crazy that they would host this. You know what I mean? Like if I think now, right? Because it was 103.9's Edge Fest when it was 103.9 The Edge, and they played a lot of cool shit and whatever. And I don't think it's the same thing anymore on the radio.
Yeah, Edge Fest. Wait, who did you say you saw again? Pennywise open up for who?
Social Distortion.
Oh, okay. I went to an Edge Fest when I was like 15 or 16 with Pennywise and Flogging Molly and No Effects.
Oh,
that was
sick.
badass.
All of my favorite bands. But I was in 5th grade when I saw that show, and it changed my life. Like,
oh, okay, then that was way before I
yeah,
went to
and
Edge
like
Fest
my family, like my mom and shit like that, were like always really into that music because my mom had me young, like she was like 17 or something when she got pregnant with me, and we were from the Bay Area, so like she was influenced by a lot of really dope music, and that like carried over, you know, and you know, that was my first show in 5th grade. It was absolutely, like, that changed my fucking life forever.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. I was like, this is it. Like, that is what I want to do. I want to have Broheim, like, fucking sing it, like, thousands of people just singing this and shit like that and feeling better. They're big-titted goth chicks and punk chicks, and, like, I don't even know how to control my fucking boner yet. I'm freaking out. I'm rubbing my dick on the couch every night, you know? Like, you know, so, like, I was like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I went to like big shows like that, like Green Day, and then I think I saw Yellow Card, I think a few years after that.
On Ocean Avenue?
Yeah, it was I think it was a little bit after Paper Walls. I don't know. I don't remember. But the first show that I ever saw that kind of describes what you experienced was when I saw Anti-Flag at the Marquee.
Oh,
when I was
fire.
I must have been 16. No, I was 15.
Great band.
I don't know. Long time ago. But I saw Anti-Flag, dude, and that was the first time that I ever like got into a mosh pit and I kept going, you know, I don't know, dude. I just had the time of my fucking life, and I remember thinking like, man, I love what this band says. I love how they play. I love them, you know.
Gonna die.
That's a good song.
Yeah. No, dude, it's so much fun. I remember the first time I saw Anti-Flag was at a Flogging Molly show. I saw them open up for Pepper, which was crazy. It was at like Tibby Beach Park or something like that.
And Anti-Flag was there? How long ago was that?
It was a long time ago because it was when Flogging Molly was playing at Tempe Beach Park.
Yeah,
they're on that like I heard that little contract or whatever. Rumors to that, but they always played every St. Patty's Day.
Yeah,
and
I've been to a few of those.
Well, the thing is about those things is, and that's why they started like when Flogging Molly started playing here again. They started splitting shit into 2 days. So like one day is like hip hop and reggae, and then one is like fucking punk only now.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because it wasn't always like that. And so they were mixing all these genres together. And it was weird. I mean, not that it wasn't dope because I love both bands. But, like, I watched Anti-Flag open up for a reggae band. Pepper. And I love Pepper. I love both those things. Like, Anti-Flag and Pepper. I'm like, I love both these things. But you, like it's just a weird way to line things up, you know?
Yeah.
Like go like to such like a anarchy piece of work to like chill ass fucking reggae.
Yeah.
And then like go back. It's such a weird fluctuation. And not that it's all the acts are amazing. But
yeah.
weird to structure it that way.
I think that's what I like about those types of festivals is you go and there's different stages, right? And if you have your preference.
One stage on this one.
Oh, really?
That's why it was like.
And it was at the Flogging Molly thing?
Yeah. So they were
so weird.
Thank you. Like very weird, right?
Every time I've been to those at the Tempe Beach Park on St. Patty's Day with Flogging Molly, anytime I've been to those, it's always been like at least a few stages.
That's insane because I've been to a few of them and like they have not been that way.
That's
like,
crazy.
But,
I wonder if I'm confusing it with something else. I don't know, but.
But like when they did Pot of Gold, like
yeah.
when we played it and shit, they did have another stage like way the fuck like somewhere
Did they
else.
Alternate?
I think like slightly, but like that whole other stage like was so far away that it was like a whole nother fucking festival. Fat Mike from No Effects was making fun of him like those guys are idiots. Like
Yeah.
he was making fun of the other stage. I was like,
Yeah.
it's craziness.
Man, I don't know, man. I miss all that shit, dude. I miss like not only being able to talk about it, but like being able to go, like we could be like, oh shit, there's going to be a festival next month, but there's not.
What do you want to do next? I mean, I know it's like kind of like a weird thing to say right now, but I think it's a pretty relevant thing to say just because things are happening again.
Yeah.
But like, I see you hustling. You know what I mean? Like I see you. First of all, you're still an amazing musician. Second of all, you're still picking up hobbies that like making pedals to make your sound what it is. Third of all, like you're doing like little brain zap TV things when you can, and trying to do something fun. But like, what do you want? Like, I don't know, maybe this next year to look like for you? And because you are an extremely talented individual that works with extremely talented people.
Thank you, man.
And I'm really excited to see what you do next because your product's awesome.
I appreciate that. Dude, to be honest, man, I'm just concerned with performing right now. Like, I just want to play. I'm not really putting I'm not getting my hopes up right now with Brain Zap. I have a feeling that's going to take a little bit of time to start getting back up. But I do have this other hardcore band with my homie Darby. We're called Bought Off. We got a Bandcamp and shit if you guys want to look it up.
Oh, we'll put we'll definitely drop that.
Yeah. We also played together in a band called Corporal Limits a while ago. We stopped playing around 2014, but we got pretty known around the scene. We opened up for Leftover Crack and the Casualties.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we even toured California one time as Corporal Limits. But me and him started a hardcore band. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit how long I've been working on this band with him because we still haven't really done anything. But me and him have been meeting up at least once a week to try to record, get shit out there. So I guess that's my next move to answer your question is I just want to perform. I just want to perform, and right now it looks like Bought Off is my best bet right now.
Really? Can you tell us a little bit about this regiment that you got going on?
Just Bought Off in general?
Yeah.
Well, so I play drums in this band. This new era of the punk scene has never really seen me play drums on stage, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
And just to add in, you're an amazing guitar player. So like
Thanks,
I usually see you on guitar and a mic, and I've seen you play drums as well. But that's where I'm used to seeing you is usually with a guitar and a mic right now.
Yeah, I dedicated a lot of time to doing that, playing guitar and singing. Before I moved to that house on Mill, back when we first met, like 2017-ish, before that, I didn't know how to really sing. I don't know if you call it singing. I yell on key sometimes.
That's what I do too, though. Like, that's what I do too.
Sure.
You are really good at yelling in key, by the way.
Thank you,
like, dude, I really like, I just want to talk to you. I love a lot of your shit, bro.
Thank you,
like,
dude.
I love the way that you fucking sing.
Thank you, dude. I didn't really know how to do that till I came back from California when I moved back in 2017 and I moved into that house. I just really dedicated a lot of time to getting better at guitar and singing, because I knew that I wanted to make that my main thing, to perform with my guitar and sing in a band. That's been my goal for a long time. And that's still my goal. That's where I want to end up. I hope that when I die, I'm in a punk band playing guitar and singing.
Dude, your guitar playing is, first of all, you're an amazing player. Second of all, like the style that you like study and then bring to, because I'll say right now, like you're not just studying punk guitar, you're studying like this gypsy jazz, fucking like era of guitar. Austin, after this is over, we're gonna pull one of these off the wall and that he's gonna show you some shit that he's been working on. But this whole gypsy jazz thing that like you really work on, and first of all, it's chords that like I can't even form my fingers to. Like,
dude, I had to stretch out my fingers.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. And how did this step into your life and influence you so much on like what you write now? Like, because I know that if I had to guess, maybe you were into this punk music before and gypsy jazz came along,
Yeah.
and now it's influencing one another.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Can you
definitely.
like explain that a little bit? Because I think it's really important for musicians trying to come back right now.
Uh-huh.
Is seeing a lot of beauty in other genres maybe they don't understand.
Yeah, I agree. I love genres that are mixed. I don't know why. Some people hate that. I personally really love that. Like like that whole Irish punk thing I think is pretty cool. To be honest, I think it's a little bit overdone.
Yeah, it's easy to overdo.
Yeah.
There's only so many keys. A lot of it's in G, D, and C.
Yeah.
You know?
And like Pinata Protest, that kind of has like
Yeah.
Flogging Molly, but if you take the Irish out and put in Mexican music.
Well, they love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
Yeah, they play
yeah.
together a lot.
Yeah.
But you don't see like a bunch of other bands trying to be like Pinata Protest, You see a lot of other bands trying to be like Flogging Molly. And that's where that overdone thing kind of comes into play, in my opinion. But I still love those two, I guess, subgenres of punk.
What made you pick up like this little gypsy jazz?
So gypsy jazz. I'm hoping that some of your viewers can kind of relate to this because I was really into like folk punk for a while. I
love it.
Yeah, and the first folk punk band that I ever got into was Mischief Brew. They're always going to be my favorite group ever. It's technically one guy.
Mischief Brew?
Mischief Brew. Like you're
Justin,
brewing a
fucking
beer.
check that shit out, please.
But yeah, Mischief Brew. They're just a folk punk band, and it's one guy, Eric Peterson. He's one of my musical heroes. And I noticed that some of the songs that Mischief Brew played had these weird chords in them that I just couldn't really figure out. I thought I figured it out, and I'd play it and I'd be like, oh no, that sounds like shit. That can't be right. But yeah, and then I guess I just, that alone intrigued me, that weird chord shit. And then I Googled gypsy jazz one time. I don't know why I felt the need to put those two words together, but I did, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I looked up Django Reinhardt. I looked up a bunch of other prominent gypsy jazz bands around here, and it's exactly the sound that I was hoping to find. And it opened a whole can of worms for me. I was obsessed from there. I saw this folk punk band add gypsy jazz sounds and musical theory, and I thought it just went together really well. And I was like, dude, like that's what I want to do. Like I can't explain why I'm obsessed with that sound of gypsy jazz.
It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like when I see you fuck around, like I see you fuck around all the time. It's great that I work with you because like I get to kind of just be nobody for a minute, and like on our breaks, like on my breaks, like it's cool that I just like kind of just chat with you for a second, only because like I'm taking a break from life, like I'm playing this, and like I fucking like see you bust out the guitar every now. I'm like, this is so nice just to chill and like because I know Kevin's trying to chill right now, and like if he can chill with his gypsy jazz chorus, I could easily chill with his kendama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I highly recommend anyone watching right now to just look up gypsy jazz on YouTube. And man, it's crazy. I've showed a lot of people this genre, and I can say that the majority of the people that I showed it to, like they were also very interested, or like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Like
It's super dope, dude. It's super
Yeah.
crazy.
I love it.
And to me, it's like it's one of those things, right? Like, well, how dedicated of a guitar player are you? And like that, like just showed me like what a bitch I am. Like I'm like, it's such a hard I mean, jazz chords are insane, and like
Yeah.
the way that these gypsy jazz chords are played is insane. And Austin, one thing Austin's been getting into, Austin's getting really good at slide.
Oh, slide guitar.
Yeah.
You got to tune your guitar differently now, huh? Yeah. Yo, that's still pretty cool.
What you got right here, Justin?
That is some festival in 2016 that apparently Mischief Brew played at.
Oh yeah. So it's crazy
Oh,
because
Descendants,
yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy because if you listen to Mischief Brew, you wouldn't think, oh, these guys would play with Fear or these guys would play with Dead Kennedys or whatever. But like that was the audience that they attracted. It didn't sound punk. You know, it like when you listen to it and you're like, oh no, this is like some nice like jazz music. But like for some reason, it really attracts people who listen to punk. It's just very aggressive. It's very jazzy, and Eric's voice is just punk as fuck. Like I don't know how else to describe it. But yeah, he ended up being on shows and tours like that. I think Jello Biafra put him on his record label. But yeah, it I don't know. I can't explain. I can't explain my obsession with this.
And while we're on the topic, unfortunately, he has passed.
Yeah, Eric Peterson died in
R.I.P.
2016, summer of 2000. Yep, I remember that day.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that day, dude. I was bummed for a while. Like,
dude, call me a poser or whatever, but like I'm a huge Blink-182 fan, and to hear that Mark Hoppus has stage 4 cancer right now is fucking killing me.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that.
Dude, Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Yeah, I know who
he has stage 4 cancer, and it's so crazy because he's always been this just big goofball, like happiest person on earth. I'm a huge Blink-182 fan. I'm a big Blink-182 fan. My parents like had friends and whatever. They went backstage to some of their shows with Green Day. Like we grew up like that. Like like I said, my parents had us young in California. So they knew some of those people and whatever, and it's just crazy to think about. I'm like, damn, dude, I'm pushing 30, and Mark Hoppus from Blink-182 has cancer. Like, it struck a chord.
It hits, dude. It
weird.
Hits. I've never felt like that about a death about a person I didn't know. Like, you'll hear of people, like famous people dying, like Michael Jackson or the dude from Linkin Park. I forget his name.
Chester Bennington?
Yeah, Chester.
Yeah, that's a big one. Slowly getting there, right? Like, you slowly, start, it's going to take something, right?
And, you hear of all these people being bummed, and, I'm not, trying to, talk shit on them or anything. I just didn't really understand how people could be so bummed. And then Eric Peterson died, and I was like, damn. I listened to Mischief Brew religiously for the next few months.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's because you're so invested in this person that you might never meet, but if you do, awesome. You know what I mean? And then when they pass away, you're like, not only will I never meet them, there will never be another song by them. Very
that's the
weird,
part that's
dude.
the part that kills me, dude. Is you're never gonna hear that sound come out ever again. It sucks. But yeah, it's you just get so connected to these people. It's weird. It's I don't know, call it gay or whatever.
It's weird, right? So these people that we really looked up to are spilling their blood on the canvas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're like, holy shit, we relate to that person so much.
Exactly.
Crazy. And that now we write like that or do something similar.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a piss? I just want to ask you a few more questions, but do you want to take a quick piss?
Yeah, actually.
I gotta pee really bad. We're gonna take a quick piss and just want to I wrap up with a few more questions because I like this conversation.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, everybody. Thank you.
Sounds good.
And we're back. We had to pee really bad. Trust me. One day I want to have a space where we can just smoke cigarettes here too.
Yeah.
That's the end goal. Get a space where I can have air scrubbers and we can just smoke cigarettes in here and fucking chill. It'd be the most natural conversation ever.
Yep.
But I just want a few more minutes with you because you are truly a very creative person and you're brilliant. And when I say that you're brilliant, you hear brilliance in other people. I got a chance to really record with you and things like that, and it struck a chord with me, a really fucking good one too. I just gotta say, I really love the way you work.
Thank you, dude.
Your work, what? How did you get like this? How did you become to be this Pro Tools guy and to making pedals? And I just see you working so hard, and you're good at it.
Man, so there's things that you can only learn from doing, right? Like recording other local bands or other musicians, whatever. And and that eventually turns into like studio etiquette. How do you, whenever you sit behind a board or a computer with Pro Tools or whatever, like how do you get the best performance out of your your musician? And it's tougher than you think. Like, oh yeah, like, press record and then edit it really well. It's a little bit more than that. Like you gotta make the musician there feel really, really comfortable as possible,
Completely agree.
And in order for them to get the best take, they have to feel like they're at home practicing their guitar on their bed alone, you have to kind of recreate that environment.
Do you think that's something you picked up like through experience that like you weren't getting, like you were not getting when you tracked with other people, or?
Wait, ask that again.
So like, have you tracked with other people, like being the musician in a situation where that was not happening?
Where I was a musician?
Yeah, you're a musician. They're like coming to tell you to track, and like you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences in Gilbert.
Hashtag crass.
Yep, crass. And before I actually started going there, somebody who worked project staff there, he was employed by Crass, had me kind of come in and fill in as an artist for students that needed to finish projects, but they, like, people from all over the country go to that school, and whenever they get here to go to that school, they don't know musicians,
Yeah, I've been to years ago, like almost a decade ago now. It's kind of crazy to think about, but I dated a girl that was going to Crass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did, and I got to go do a little bit of shit at and go check out all their stuff that they got going on.
Yeah,
for sure. And it's a pretty extensive setup that they have.
Yeah,
there.
they have
very crazy.
Yeah, they have $1 million SSL. They have an API. They have a Neotech. Actually, they have a few SSLs, a few APIs, and a few Neotechs, which is wild. I think if I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there are only 2 SSL consoles in the entire city of Phoenix or Tempe.
What for idiots like some people, me. But what what is SSL?
SSL.
It's a very rare console that you have here, which is like a big soundboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big ass board, and like the ones that you see in movies and shit whenever you see artists record. But yeah, it's rare because it's expensive. It's one of the they call it a transparent. It has transparent circuitry, which means that exactly what the microphone gets is exactly what ends up being recorded.
So you're very techie on some of this shit.
Yeah.
A lot of this shit, excuse me, but you're a very techie guy when it comes to recording.
Yeah,
And it's always interesting. I've watched you work, I've gotten to watch a few people work, and you work very differently. And I'm an idiot, so I shouldn't actually say that. I take that back. You work more different than I see other people work, but I have no idea what's going on. But I really like watching you work. It's highly entertaining, and it's eye-opening. Is there something that has inspired you to work the way that you work in this crazy field?
Yeah. So actually, kind of going back to one of your first questions after we took a piss.
Yeah, I had to pee really bad.
Yeah, me too. So knowing how to work like that, right, with artists, I developed from recording bands since I believe I was 14 when I first started recording local bands.
Which has been how long now? How old are you, if you don't mind
I'm
asking?
29, so
Oh, you're the same age as me.
15
Yeah,
years
15
ago.
years. Okay.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 15 years. But yeah, there's this whole art of recording and getting a very natural sounding track. Again, making them feel like they're in their own bedroom practicing alone. That's the ideal take that you want to capture. But yeah, I've been doing it for a really long time, and eventually that started to influence how I worked until now. You know, kind of. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to come up with examples to really express what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no. So like, if I'm not talking shit, but like, you've obviously seen growth in yourself, and I,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean. And I can only imagine that whatever you recorded when you were 14
Oh, it was
is
terrible.
nothing. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah,
It was
like, you know what I mean?
terrible.
Like, you've been doing this for so long now, and I can only imagine things getting better for you, and they're great right now.
Yeah.
I loved recording with you. I had a blast recording with you.
Likewise, dude. That was badass.
Dude, it was super badass, and it was cool to like, because I recorded with LA Diggs for so long for then, and like just to watch you guys work together, it was a lot of fun.
That
to-
was, yeah.
It was really cool to watch, and I don't know shit about that. I really just drink. I'm like, you guys are the best. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I really do. But it's what do you see your next like big step being? Like, is it like better like listening to frequencies? Is it better like understanding your band? Like, I don't even know like how you expand on something
As
like
far
this.
as recording,
Yeah, something like, or you know, like you're not only recording, but like you're producing and you're mixing, and and you're a musician yourself. So like, what does the next step, I guess, in things, especially coming out of the pandemic, like what does that look like for you? Like, does that take getting one of your bands together and recording and experimenting sounds, or does it take you like getting another band in to like try your new circuits? Like, you're involved in so many things. What does the next step that you want to do, like what you want to do, look like? Like, what does that look like in your eyes?
as far as like
Anything, because we are
Yeah.
out of the pandemic now.
Sure.
You're way too fucking talented to just be working a day job.
yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, we work a day job together, but what, like, I know your craft. I know what you're capable
I'm gonna keep
of.
going with that.
Like,
Yeah.
what does the next step like look like for you? Is it taking circuits on stage? Is it being on stage? Is it rehearsing? Like, what does it look like for you?
I think so. Other than doing what I've been doing, you know, for the last few years, is probably that whole building guitar pedals thing. I know guitar pedals are such a small part. No, not a small part. It's only a certain part of the song that you're recording. But when you really get into the electronics of how, you know, when you when you strum a chord, it goes through the pickups, goes through the cable, and then goes into this guitar pedal, does its magic, goes into your amp does its magic and comes out of the speakers. You know, the more that I personally involve myself in that like fundamental level of sound, it just blows your mind. It's something that I personally am still kind of struggling to grasp, but I guess that is my next step is understanding sound and how it turns into electricity, goes through electronics, and then goes through other electronics, and then comes out a speaker, and that's what you hear.
Do you think it's easier? And like, this is a very vague question, but like sometimes me as a musician and a writer, like I will write off of a sound I hear. Like, I'll start writing off of a sound I hear. Does that
Sure.
make sense? Instead of
Yeah.
like a subject, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, you can write off a subject, and like sometimes I'll like definitely just write off of like 2 chords that I played or something like that. You know, like, do you think maybe building these effects or anything is like affecting like how you want to approach your writing, or like?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question before I answer that question.
For sure.
Does the tone of your guitar that you hear, does that influence you when you're writing too? Like,
Dude.
does that make you like, oh, this is grungy as fuck?
Dude, sometimes, because like, I don't know, like sometimes like what I like to do is like I'll put like if I had to explain like overdrive on overdrive on overdrive,
Sure,
but then like I'll turn the master like way down, right?
Uh-huh.
So it just sounds like I'm hitting this fucking, and it'll be like one chord, like da 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 1, 2, 1, and like I'll just start fucking saying shit up, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, da 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 da, and then like I'll just start fucking around with chords that are so gross on this, like, you know, it's really quiet,
Yeah.
but like I hear this ragey effect, and I'm just slapping chords, so. In that aspect, like that's what I really like to do. And then like if I'm super fucking stoned and I'm playing like clean effects with delays, I don't know how much I'll write off of it, but I'll think more. Like I'll like I don't know what it is. Like
You'll probably play some more psychedelic kind of
like
sounding
yeah,
shit.
like I'll just play some dumb shit, and like I'm not necessarily gonna like write psychedelic shit, but like I'm gonna
you
think
just
about
gotta jam on it a little bit.
it. Kind of just makes me like jam, and like I'm thinking about like, man, like I'm expanding my mind to write about other shit. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I'm like really just chilling. Like it's helping me just chill with hand-eye coordination. Another reason I like kendama too. Like I'm chilling with hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
And as punk rockers, all we want to do to chill is write punk rock songs. So we're playing fast and like just trying to think of what the next fast thing is. But like all of my punk rock ideas are like, or you know, whatever, my little rebellion in me is coming out when I'm kind of chilling.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've come across.
Yeah. It sounds to me, and if you disagree, like let me know. Not that it matters, but like if it sounds like I'm not even talking about what you're talking about, let me know. But it sounds to me like you're just kind of getting to know your instrument, right? You're starting to get to know you're getting to know it better than you did before.
I think it's another mix too, because I'm seeing so much crazy media that I'm like, you know, like I think I'm becoming tolerant of media, right? So there are days I like want to write aggressively. There are days I want to write slow, like folk and shit like that. And then I'm like wondering like what's influencing me, right? And then I realize that everyone is trying to influence me.
Yeah.
For one reason or the other. So this is where it gets really weird. She sees me like read shit every morning. Like I just wake up and start reading shit, and I try to figure out who is trying to influence me. I stopped trying to read for information. And I'm like, why are you trying to do this to me? Everybody. You know what I mean? I like try to get behind like why are you influencing me this way?
Yeah.
It might be for good. It might be for fucking terrible. It might be for money. You know? That's like my new thing. It's like, okay, I understand what you're telling me. Why are you telling me? And it really affected me. So like I started expressing my ideas in slower like chord stuff. But then the ways I wanted to display it, I wanted to be like loud and powerful and fun, like if there is something sad about it, I want to make it happy. So I don't know what it is, but like I try to understand a narrative and flip it. That's like my new thing. And if you're trying to make me sad, and because that's what it is, right? Every narrative is trying to make you scared.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to write about that I'm not going to be as scared anymore, but I see what you're doing. And I see the victim. I see the real victim. You know what I mean? Like, it's no question people are hungry in certain parts of the world. And it's no question that, like, you know, natural disaster affected people. You know, like, some shit is just obvious, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And they want to make it so everything is evil. Why does everyone have an evil to say but nothing good? It's crazy. I don't know, but like I'm trying to flip the narrative on so much negativity, and I want the negativity to be acknowledged. I think that's extremely important, especially if it's something bad. Like if I'm singing about like another country, which I don't rarely do. I like to sing about a lot of personal experience. But if it's something another country where there is legitimate genocide or something, that's you know, maybe I want a different message, but I don't know, right from wrong. And it's not always black and white, but it's not always everything people are telling you. It's a really weird, I think there's a lot of substance to write with,
Yeah.
but it's only like 4 subjects, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Anyways.
Yeah, dude. Question everything. Everything. Literally everything. Question everything that anyone tells you. Question yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
I personally believe that's a very healthy thing to do, is question everything.
I try not to, because I think it's too stressful.
To question everything.
Dude, there's a lot of things I can fucking question.
It is.
I love easy cheese and don't question what's in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
feel
lot.
It's emotionally, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, and you have to choose where to stop.
Yeah.
I think one thing that like people just stop believing in is each other. Like I think we don't believe in each other anymore. Like people look at Facebook posts and be like, she's faking it. She's faking her happiness and stuff like that, and have no idea what's going on with her life or whatever. But like we choose to fucking fight thy neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, get that Biden flag out of you, or like that Trump flag. Like,
Yeah,
you know
whatever.
what I mean? Like whatever
Any
it is.
political flag outside.
It never
your-
used to matter this much. Remember when you didn't tell people who you voted for?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
it's crazy. It's crazy how fast and how much shit has changed in the last 8 years. Yeah. In my opinion, I think that's just one of those things where history kind of repeats itself.
What do you mean? If you had to give an example, I mean, when you say history repeats itself, I mean it does.
Like
everywhere.
in this context with this.
I think it's so crazy. Maybe, and you're absolutely right. Right. So, remember when like there was so like oh, we shouldn't put Motley Crue or Twisted Sister like on the radio, and you saw these like bands like speaking before things, right? Well, now we have like a ridiculous amount of freedom of speech, and it's fantastic. Like this podcast is available everywhere thanks to anchor.fm.com. But like it's available everywhere.
Yeah.
And that used to not be the case, and a lot of people tried to stop it, and here we are with so much freedom of speech that like flat earth looks legitimate. It's weird, right? I'm not like it's just way too much.
Yeah.
And we've never been this connected, and I don't think anyone was ready for it.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I mean when I say that history repeats itself is I'm kind of thinking like there have been times in history, even in the last century, before I was born, where we've all just been at each other's throats. Civil rights movement was pretty bad. The same things that the media is saying about BLM are the same things that they said about MLK. Back in the civil rights movement, back during World War II, we were also at each other's throats. Where
they had separate regiments for
yeah.
Africans and
Well, it even
blacks.
got to the point where you couldn't even voice your opinion without getting shit on by certain people. Kind of like how it is today. You know what I mean? Cancel culture is on the rise, and I personally think it's bullshit. I'm not a fan of the general idea of cancel culture. I think it's I don't know.
It's odd, right? Like someone
Yeah.
expresses their freedom of speech and is not allowed on any social media platform or anything like that.
Yeah, I kind of
It's weird.
Well,
yeah.
So, I mean, like with that being said, though, do you think that there's a part of it that's just human nature, where we're just inherently going to shit on each other just because?
Yeah.
Oh, tribalism for sure. Like we're right, you're wrong, and you're so wrong that like you're out of like all tribes.
Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah. I mean, feudalism is definitely on the rise now. But yeah, I think it is. Well, I wouldn't say it's part of human nature. I think it's part of human nature considering where we are today. Like if we were to go back during, I don't know, like if you were to go look at some savage tribes and shit like that, like they didn't really have too much of that. And I would argue that they're more primitive, than us, and more in tune with being human, I would think, as far as I understand it. But yeah, I think it is kind of natural for us, considering the situation that we're in now, to kind of just shit on each other. You know, we all have egos and shit, and it sucks that most of us.
What I'm saying is like it's a different of times. Nowadays, you know, we use the internet and our words to shit on each other. Back in the day, it was, you know, swords and who has the bigger stick and shit like that. So I mean, at a certain point,
cancel culture meant death.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
At a certain point, like I think you have to look at the idea of it is human nature, and we're never going to get rid of it. And I think that people that are constantly trying to get rid of things like this, that it's just not going to happen.
So question for Kevin here, like, because I think so there was like cancel culture. Jesus Christ, I'm starting to drink a little bit.
Me too.
We got to wrap this up soon because I'm going to start getting in trouble.
All right.
But if I had to like lead off with one controversial thing, I guess. But do you think you see cancel culture and then like subgenres of cancel culture, right? So I know that sounds crazy, but like
I think I know what you mean. So elaborate, I guess.
maybe just smaller versions of it, but like what, you know, how does we see local bands? I mean, I have not seen it in a long time, but like bands will get canceled, right? So do you think that people will start molding their writing around cancel culture? Does that make sense? Like to not be canceled, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like
So that, I guess that's what I'm afraid of. So
which exactly what I want to ask, because like, do you think cancel culture will start affecting our freedom of speech?
Sure. Man.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. So I think that, I kind of agree with some people getting canceled, right? Some people recently have been saying shit that has been out of line and you know, unnecessary, and I think that they deserve to be called out on it, whatever that result means, whether that means that they don't get aired anymore or certain people might not listen to them anymore. I think that they deserve to be called out on it, whatever the consequences of that are. But there have been lots of times where cancel culture takes it way too far.
What's the line like where to you, if you had to like choose a line, if someone is canceled, right? Like they are not allowed on social media platforms at all. Like you saw Trump get kicked off of everything and he had to make his own.
And Alex Jones and
yeah. Like it's weird, right? Like, and this isn't politicians; these are people.
Sure.
Like it's weird, right? Like it's weird how just normal people get to choose like what is not allowed, and and that's off a huge platform.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to choose like that. That's millions of people.
So I think that so one thing that a lot of people have been supporting recently is a free market, right? I'm not going to really get into too much of my opinion on that, but the US has supported the free market recently, right? Which means that companies can do more or less what they want as far as what they have to do for PR reasons, for marketing reasons, whatever. So for example, somebody like YouTube, right? They're a company. They are free to determine what goes on YouTube and what doesn't.
Very accidental monopoly.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna post a video anywhere else. They didn't mean to do it. They just did it. Like they made the biggest thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge platform. If they as a company decide that somebody like Alex Jones does them a disfavor as far as them growing as a company, I think that they should have the right to fucking cancel them. You know?
Do you think it's fair though? Like this is another thing. Like it's wild because I'm not like sticking up for Alex Jones. Don't give me that. A lot of shit that he has said has been
problematic.
Proven. Yeah, it has been proven. A lot of shit has been proven. A lot of shit has also been very problematic. It's
but
wild.
A lot of the shit is scary how true it is if you don't take any other things into consideration.
Of course.
But some of the shit that he says is real.
Of course. And he's admitted to being wrong, but like when he was wrong, he was really wrong. Yeah. Like it was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
And it's tough, right? So it's like we all used to just know to get our information from like 2 or 3 places. Yeah. And now there's like, how many places do you think we get information from? Like, dude, fucking Justin,
Mhm.
if you had to Google just like how many news sources,
Oof.
just Google it, how many news sources exist on? Gee, that's a hard one. How many news
I got it.
sources
You keep
exist
talking.
on Google? Right or
How many news sources does Google have access to? I guess.
How about how many news sources exist today?
Sure.
yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good. Yeah.
Of
My
course
drunk
you're
ass.
gonna make me read for numbers.
I was a little drunk before you got here.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming to spend some time with me because
It's fun.
your old roommate got me a little drunk.
It's been a minute since we've gotten drunk together, dude.
I know, man. It's really good to see you. I
too,
mean,
man.
I know I get to see you often, but it's cool just to fucking chill for a minute, you know?
Yeah.
Like me and you haven't just
Dude.
got to kick it for a minute.
I just fucking remembered. I hope this is okay with everybody. Sometime before I leave, I want to bring something to you for the podcast that I have in my car still.
What is it?
It's something.
Go get it right now?
I can if you know
Yeah.
if everyone's cool with me going.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
good, bub?
Go
All
get
right.
it. Go get it. We'll
I'll
take
write
a
that.
quick commercial break. We have no
shit.
commercials, but
All right.
what is that? And we're back.
Are you recording?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
What day is it today? July 25th?
24th.
26th?
24th.
It's July 25th. What is this?
24th.
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 Have Merry Christmas.
For
This
me?
one's for you. Yeah.
Oh, that's for
in
Bailey?
July.
Yeah.
Bailey, come. My girlfriend Bailey. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit.
So we got these for you guys. Me and my girl, me and Dominique.
God bless her. Like, by the way,
Mainly Dominique.
hail Satan or
Hail
whatever.
Satan.
You know, she's
Yeah.
a sweetheart. Here, take it, honey. You can just come in. Okay. She just got out of the shower. She probably
Yeah.
don't like my camera.
I think that just shows how often we don't hang out, which sucks.
Dude, I'm gonna show you after this, but I have a note from your girlfriend on my fucking fridge when I pass out drunk. It's a magnetic. It's on the fridge.
Yeah.
I gotta see, dude. Thank you guys.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, she's a pro fucking Christmas gift wrapper. It's crazy. Some of the things that she's ever.
She's
Just-
wonderful. She's
Yeah.
way better than you.
I agree.
Michael Kors.
Yeah, Michael Kors.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Dude. Austin, can I get a camera? The GoPro? Look at that shit. Is that good? Look good? Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? This is a gold motherfucking watch, son.
Yeah.
Dude. Are you serious?
Yeah. I think she asked Bailey a while ago something about colors.
Dude.
And she said you really liked gold.
I do. I'm so fucking, 50 Cent is my idol. So, this is, dude, thank you, brother. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, Dominique. You're next. I'll see you on here soon. I swear to God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dude, are you serious?
Oh, and I hope that it's sized right. She can resize it.
Dude, I'm sure we'll get a resize. Maybe I'll gain some weight. But, dude, this is a fucking beautiful watch. It's got, 3 faces on it and shit. Dude. What? Sorry. Well, this is going to be like a highlight clip. Austin, can you get this again? How are we looking here? Good? So there's 3 little faces on this fucking gold watch.
I wish I could tell you more about it, but she knows a lot more about watches than I ever have.
Dude. What was yours, honey?
That's a Michael Kors bracelet.
Oh, it's a pretty gold bracelet. Here, hand it to me.
I just got it on.
Hand it to me, you fucking stupid.
Hey,
Just kidding.
don't make me.
She's gonna fight you, dude.
Dude, you guys, are you serious?
So sweet.
Okay. How are we looking, Austin? Good?
I have Michael Kors.
We'll get pictures and post it on the Instagram.
Michael Kors glasses.
Are you fucking serious? Here, I'm gonna take this. Take this back. I will drop it. Dude, thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
oh my
dude.
gosh. This is the perfect way to end the podcast, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah.
Dude, come back and hang out, all right? Like,
yeah, dude.
seriously.
It's funny, dude, because we got those for you for Christmas.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and like we kept
Dude.
telling ourselves, like, man, like they're gonna come over sometime, and I guess I don't know. We just
Dude, this makes me want to put on deodorant and shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is
Makes you
dope,
wanna take a shower.
bro. Like, take a shower? Fuck, man, I just got my hair cut. I feel like I should be wearing this watch.
there you go.
Dude. Here we go. Dude, I love you, buddy.
Oh, I love you too, man.
Dude, I'll see you on Monday. Or Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I'll see you on Tuesday, but see you next Tuesday, bitches. Except this podcast comes out on Wednesdays. Take a drink, buddy. What are the links, dude? Where can we find you? Where do you want us to find you?
So, fuck. I hope you guys can edit this time that I'm about to take to look my band up on Bandcamp.
Not staying in.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll be fine.
So right now I am off all social media except for Instagram.
A little
So
personal choice just for yourself, though, right?
yeah, same kind of things that we were talking about. Just bullshit.
Well, we can find Brain Zap on like Spotify.
Yeah, so my band Brain Zap, like a brain is getting zapped by lightning, is on Spotify. It's on iTunes. You can download our shit for free on Bandcamp. We actually have a album that we recorded that is only available on Bandcamp and is also available to be downloaded for free, where we just cover a bunch of songs. We covered Usher.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
That's kind of
We did
gangster.
Nice and Slow by Usher and did a little bit of a rendition of it. And we did a In Sync little, not a whole song, but we did a little snippet of it. We did Ain't Too Proud to Beg. I forget who does that song. I always forget the name.
What was it called? I Never Got Pegged.
Yes. Yeah. Never got pegged. Whole song. It's a really old song about that.
But we can find
The
Brain Zap-
Temptations.
The Temptations. Yes.
There he is.
Yes. Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Man,
But we got you though.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
look,
like
yeah.
the things you just shouted out, we can
exactly.
definitely find you.
Or
on.
YouTube, Brain Zap TV. I have a video of Silva playing one of their original songs on there where he's performing it in front of a microphone.
With
It's pretty
Gio.
rad. With Gio.
From
That's right. From Squared.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of local artists. To be honest, I haven't really done much with it recently, but I plan on getting a bunch of more artists here soon.
We're all just jumping back. We're all pushing each other back.
there
you
we
know?
go. And my band bought off on Bandcamp. It's a photo of a bunch of people, a black and white photo of a bunch of people stacked inside of a photo booth. I know that's hard to imagine, but when you see the picture, you will be like, oh yeah, that's a bunch of people stacked in front of a photo booth, like you said on that podcast. So that's where I am. But yeah, that's my main way of expressing my art.
Fuck yeah, man. Cheers, dude. Thank you for coming. I
Yeah, dude,
really
thank you for having
appreciate
me
it,
on,
bud.
man.
You know I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, bro.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of The Rundown with Silva. This is my man Kevin. My name is Tyler Silva, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.
The rundown with Silva. Rundown with Silva. The rundown.